Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. In this video, I will be giving you guys a tutorial on a strand build I've made. So, we'll hop right into it, starting with the aspects. Now, for your aspects, you're going to want to start out with Mind Spawn Invocation. This will allow you to proc off your Shackle Grenade and get your Weaver's Trance, which, if you don't know what Weaver's Trance does, Final Blows while it's active creates a suspending detonation. And on top of that, we're going to want to proc that, we're going to want Thread of Wisdom to work with the Wanderer to give us our Orbs of Power once we suspend targets. So, suspending targets with Mind Spawn Invocation or the Wanderer will give us Orbs of Power. And when we use this, we also get Unraveling Rounds because due to our artifact, which we'll be showcasing after this, will give us Unravel Rounds upon using an Overpowered. And if you want to keep this Shackle Grenade up, you're going to want Thread of Generation, and Thread of Continuity is a nice one. You don't necessarily need it, but it makes this a lot easier for you. You could use something else, like I would go with like Thread of Isolation if you use something else, or Thread of Transmutation. That way you can create those tangles much more often. Now we will be moving on to the artifact. Alright everybody, here we are with the artifact. Now I'm going to keep this nice and short because I don't want to keep you guys waiting. Start with Piercing Sidearms, Unstoppable Hand Cannon, and just really put everything in this first slot. Then this row, it's really up to you, these two rows. But I like going with these ones that you see me equipping here. Then running Unraveling Orbs and Horde Shuttle. This one is crucial. You don't necessarily need this one, it's just nice. But Unraveling Orbs is crucial to this build, so make sure you have that on. You're also going to want Solo Operative, because if you're running solo activities, it's really nice. You don't need it, but since this is a strand build, I recommend either this or Agent Ordnance. But I will be using Solo Operative just due to the fact that I'm solo. Now from here, we will be moving on to our mods. Here we are on our mods list. You don't need all of this, but you definitely want a Harmonic Siphon. I like to have Heavy Ammo Finder and Scout on just to allow you to be more of a team player. With how many things you're going to be killing, you should be generating a good amount of heavy ammo for you and your team. Then, Momentum Transfer will let you, every time you proc that suspend, get more melee damage, which will let you, in turn, gather those Orbs of Power once you get the Unraveling Rounds from you killing something with your melee, which will chain that into Firepower, which while we have our Weaver's Trance, we will create extra Orbs of Power upon rapid kills. And Fastball allows us to quickly proc that suspend if we do not have something that fits it. And I like to have one of each resistance, or primary resistance, and in terms of our boots, Stacks on Stacks will allow us to have a bunch of armor charges. You can also run on one of your pieces of armor a Surge. I like running Strand Surge, but if you're just going overall, put on these ones. That way, every time you get an Overpower, you get cooldown on both your melee and grenade reduced, and you get an armor charge. And then we're going to run with Bomber and Outreach, because that allows us to just further reduce our cooldown, and you don't need Proximity Ward. I just recommend it because it's good to have overall. But you can also head over here and equip a Kickstart or Focus. But if we switch over to our boots, we can't necessarily proc both stacks on stacks and the other thing. So, for the sake of this, I'm going to take off this, because for the people who don't need a major recovery mod, then not a major recovery mod, a recovery mod in general, you will be able to proc this, because you can use something like strand weapon surge to make you that much stronger, or an elemental charge because you will be destroying strand tangles. So if you are running resilience or something of that term, like this, then you can throw this on instead of stacks on stacks, allowing you to still generate those armor charges, but not as frequently. But you will have to take off one of your things, and here we can see I can equip both this. But what I would recommend is throwing on these, just like this, and that way you can have full slots being utilized, and I would recommend putting on your invigoration instead of innovation because we will be needing our melee much more, and this is the run I would prefer to run with. Now, moving on to our weapons, we will be using Final Warning due to the fact that it is heavily procced by Unravel, and we can do a charge burst of Unravel. We can actually proc its strength more. Plus, thanks to the Pick the Poison, we can choose which type of damage we want to do. Preferably, we want to do aiming because we will have increased velocity and critical hit damage, which will allow us to, in turn, just basically proc our Unravel more, just based off the headshots, faster kills, faster Unravel. So, here is where I will show you what you will be looking for your other weapons. I usually like running with a sword from ability. You don't need to. You just mainly need to be running Final Warning. Now, since this is also a very based thing, I don't even know what that means. I will recommend running something else that's high hitting, like you could run Forbearance, even Ikelos or Cartesian. But I will be running with Felwinter's Lie just for this demonstration. Now, let's go into the testing. Alrighty guys, here we are in the Shirochi dungeon, where I will be demonstrating how this build works. Now, as we start this encounter, you're going to want to consume your grenade, and get ready to, in turn, kill something with your melee. Now, once we proc this, you can see already that it's just murdering everything by itself. Now, you see, after we kill each thing, it procs off more suspend, which will give us our orbs of power, letting us, in turn, destroy things with strand. Now, I found this very good for activities like Onslaught or Ad Clear. This can hold up in higher tier activities, it's just a lot more difficult to maintain. You can see even here, I'm struggling, as is apparent by this. Now, I'm not exactly trying too hard, but I found this very good in Onslaught and things as such. The main thing you're going to want is Final Warning. That's one of the biggest parts, Final Warning and Unravel. Now, I will be showing you what it looks like if you do not use Weaver's Trance. You can use it however you like, but Weaver's Trance is nice to have. So, if we once again start the encounter, we can wait till Shiro does her thing, and all you need to do is proc Unravel. And just starting off with just Unravel, you can see it does its job pretty well at just clearing everything. Now, if you want even more, you can do this, and you'll just get more power for even more unraveling rounds. So, now in turn, you can see, I'm destroying everything without a problem. That's not even me fully charging our weapon. That is just tapping it. Now, if you do run out, like I said, you can just throw this, and I'm not even shooting right now and everything's dying. That's just how powerful this build is. And you can throw your suspend grenade and proc it off for these orbs of powers, just like I showed you. And obviously you still have your ults if you get in stressful situations. But since it does create orbs of powers upon using it in multiplayer activities, and creates orbs of power whenever it kills things, that will let us proc our Unravel once again. Now, exotics I like to run with this. You can run things like apotheosis or necrotic. I would suggest the necrotic grip if you were to run an exotic, or swarmers. Swarmers are a really good one because they let you spawn more threadlings, which I would typically be using them, but under this circumstance, you don't need it. And as you saw, it did perfectly fine without it. So I'm gonna move out to the outro, and yeah, that's all for today. Bye.